All right. Now we all understand what's going on. Now let's start the show. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve. This is
60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying and selling and trading and fixing and modding and breaking and reviewing and playing podcast. That was fun. How come we've never done that before?
I don't know.
If we practice at it, we might get pretty good.
546 attempts to do it. 546 chances, and we've done it for the first time.
Not including all the little mini episodes that we used to do.
Yeah. Well,
Which means like 600 episodes or something.
I don't think we did the little. Anyway,
we used to do ad weeks where we do 5 episodes a week.
But I don't think we would do the intro for.
No. Yeah.
This first ad was sent by Matthew Carnivale.
He won last week, right? Yes, Steve.
Okay, never mind. We did the intro so weird that I couldn't remember if we did the intro or if somehow we just went straight from 60 Cycle Hum.
No, like we did the whole thing.
And you just said, "Hi, I'm Ryan," and then I continued to sing. And
no. We're here, Steve. We were doing the show. Let's just keep doing the show. What are you doing? Don't stop doing the show in the middle of doing the show. Finish doing the show so we can go to bed.
I know. So I can drive home and go.
Yeah. So what we have here is a Squier Katana.
This was sent by Matt Carnivale. Rock and roll machine.
Like this.
Rare Japanese, includes twang bar.
Yeah.
And original hard shell case. Some small dings and nicks. See pics from before my time. Squier Katana 8587 Arctic white.
This thing looks slick. I think this is the best looking katana I've seen in a while.
What's your favorite? What about it makes you
feel
like it looks slick?
I just like that it's all white and it just has just these nice little touches of relicing in the poly. I don't know. There's something about this one that is grabbing me.
Well, Ryan, for $949, this can be yours.
It's really not a bad price.
It's in Pacifica, which I think is by Monterey.
Yeah, it's up north. It's hard to be south of San Diego and stay in California. I'm looking at it and like, is it time? Is it finally time for Squier to reissue these?
Dude, it's past
ripe.
time.
It's ripe. Like this has got the vibe. I think it's now. Squier. Like right now, like you get this in the hands of St. Vincent, you got a new signature model on your hands, or like there's something like that. There's some musician out there that if they're seen holding this, it's gonna be time. Everyone's gonna want a Squier Katana. You can
do a lot with this. There's actually a lot of real estate. There's like a decent amount of real estate on this body.
It's a great big plank. It's a Dorito.
This should be a paranormal series or whatever. And it doesn't even need to be single humbucker because it's paranormal. It can be like dual P90s. You know what? I want this. The problem is like it can be done well, but it is a little tricky. I want this in this color. Excuse me, this Arctic white.
The burritos are coming back.
Well, I was eating between episodes.
Oh my gosh.
This Arctic white.
Professionals over here.
I want Duosonic style dual single coil black cover. 2 knobs. Volume, no tone.
I'm kind of liking the one pickup, even though there is plenty of real estate here.
But I'm talking paranormal series.
I know you're talking paranormal.
You gotta make it different.
Got to make it different somehow.
Okay, single humbucker, Cabernita.
A Cabernita.
Drop that TV Jones, that Filtertron in there.
Yeah.
That Filtertron style. You got a Katana Nita.
Katana Nita.
Katanita.
I don't know. I think they need to do a classic vibe katana.
Just go all in.
Just like do the right logo, do the headstock.
They could do it the same way that they did the Starcaster. They could have the Affinity Katana. They could have the classic
Affinity Katana could be hardtail.
Classic Vibe Katana, and then they could have the Contemporary Katana. The Contemporary Katana could have one of those like SQR active humbuckers.
Yeah.
The Classic Vibe would basically be this one.
Right.
And then the Affinity would be a hardtail. And a single coil in the bridge.
Like
single pickup, single
They
coil.
should the one with the active, I forget what model name you signed to it.
I think it's the Contemporary.
Or the Contemporary should have a Floyd. It should be double locking. It should have a Floyd. It should have an active humbucker in the bridge and like a tilted active single in the neck. Kind of like
yeah. That could work.
Get it a little bit aggressive in there. I don't know. I'm just feeling like the time is right for Katana to come back.
Fender, hit us up.
It's a Squier. Like
we got ideas. We just put them all out there.
Yeah.
You can steal them. You don't even have to give us credit.
But
we're gonna know. We're gonna know.
Comment section. Would you be interested? Would you sit back and go like, maybe if you saw Squier come out with a fresh batch of katanas? Let us know. Are we crazy? Is it just because it's something different and we've seen so many strats over the years that now we're just thirsty for something different?
Here's what I think we should do. If they ever make this, we should find a decal shop to print our logo on like window decals, like 3-inch, like big old ones. That will just fill in this whole upper part of the bout, this whole like upper butt portion, this upper wing. People, and we'd be just like, hey, send us proof of that you own one of these katanas, and we'll send you a free window decal to slap on your katana.
Yeah,
Just
make it
an
official 60 cycle hum katana sticker.
Yeah.
And
and like I said, it's a decal, so if you want to take it off, you can.
This would be fun with like an 80s style racing stripe graphic going along that line there.
Yeah,
like a blue line, an orange line, and a yellow line or something. You know what I'm talking about? Like just blue, red, and yellow.
Just A-team that shit.
Yeah. You give it that like ski core type of look.
Ski core. Yeah.
You see it on the slopes.
Yeah. You don't want none of this.
Stay away from my girl.
Yeah. Snowboarders on the mountain.
Stay off my slope, snowboarder.
What movie was that?
Like 3 different movies.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know. I saw this pop up and I like looking at it. So that's where I'm at.
This is a pretty cool room it's in. I like that like.
Yeah. Once I realized that the curtain was a curtain, I was
not actually just a bunch of speakers.
When my eye said, "Oh my gosh, they've got a wall of speakers," I was excited, and then when I really looked, I was like, "Oh, well, they still have some cool amps in there."
Yeah, they still have a bunch of amps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 amps, I think.
They got enough amps. We don't need to amp shame them, Steve. I know
it's more amps than I have.
You got a lot of amps too. You got like 3, right?
Well, it's more amps than I have in my room, at least.
There you go. Here's another thing I'm going to say. If I had the space, if I was one of those guys with a barn out in the middle of nowhere or somewhere, where I could just have a collection that never seemed to stop growing. Like I would collect a bunch of old weird guitars like this.
Okay.
Oh. $9.49 free shipping. No brainer.
That's pretty expensive.
You can buy all sorts of like boring guitars for $1,000 now. This thing's not boring.
But is it $1,000? I mean, maybe okay, $1,000. Holy shit!
I told you it's a good price.
Somebody's asking for $1,500. There is one for $738 plus $100 shipping, $995, $1,300, $1,500, $1,100 for a bass, $1,500. What?
I'm telling you, they're collector's items.
Dude, you used to be able to get these for like $350.
I know, but it's not 1992 anymore.
That was in like 2013.
Dude, that was a decade ago. That was 11 years ago.
Hold on, I gotta go take my bedtime pills. Gotta go take my statins.
I'm telling you, time is ripe. It's time. Fender, get on it. People want wild shapes.
Yeah.
You can modernize this in a way where it's not like a metal guitar and people will want it. Like, I'm telling you, there's like a St. Vincent theme going on here. If you threw like a mini bucker in the bridge and then like some kind of single coil in the neck, like people are going to be on it.
If Fender doesn't capitalize on this soon, probably the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see this guitar on RJ Ronquillo.
Right, because it's going to be
It's going to be an Eastwood.
Right.
Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. No, people need to start like just cutting out the bodies and doing like home projects. Like this is like the way everyone was doing jazz tellies. We're going to start seeing katana tellies.
The katana is such a, like, the attention to detail on the body shape is like so fascinating to me because it has the beveling going on the edges. And I just think that's so, like,
well, they were
so
trying to do Randy Rhoads without doing a Randy Rhoads.
Right.
So they just made a big old Dorito chip. And they're like, well, we can't have this thing stay like, it can't follow its lines because it'll be huge and bulky. Let's like slim it down a little bit. So they did all these little futuristic cuts out of that longer horn coming out.
Yeah.
And there's just something so, it looks like a paper airplane. Like it's just this space age triangle, you know? I like it. It's grown on me. So yeah.
Bye.
Squier. Make them. Yeah. Like
Get
if you guys
on
agree and you want to buy one, let us know. Send us pictures of whatever katana you bought or you currently own. I want to know. Do you like these things? Are you curious about them? Do you want more in your life? Hit us up. What next, Steve? You want to talk about business talk?
Let's do a little business.
Let's not go so crazy with the Patreon stuff. We got 4 sponsors this episode. Let's not point fingers. Okay, Steve, you go as fast as you can. I will not interrupt.
All right. If you want to support the making of the show and help us eat dinner every week and pay for things like cameras and web services, head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get your name on the scroll. Everyone who subscribes also has access to our Spotify free feed. We post those up on there, the audio. And we do lots of other things at the $5 level. I send you a little gift pack at the $10 level. You get the same gift pack plus a little bit of exclusive stuff, plus whatever junk I got laying around that I think would be cool to send you. And that's it. So go check it out. Thanks again to all of our Patreons, you guys and girls and men and women and theys. Keep this show running.
Animals, plants, and minerals.
Yeah.
We thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Reverb.
That's right.
Reverb and Fender just started the Fender certified pre-owned shop.
Yep. It's a bunch of pre-owned certified Fender guitars and basses. They're still under warranty. They've been certified and checked out to make sure that they're all tip-top condition. Where are they coming from? We don't know. It's a great big mystery, but you could save up to 25% with this situation. So get over to Reverb. We'll have a link down in the description. Go window shopping. See if there's a good deal on something that you've been wanting for a long time. And oh, look, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. There's an Am Pro 2 Jazzmaster. I've been wanting one of those, and that's been that finish. And it's left-handed. I'm a left-handed player. Maybe I should strike while the iron is hot, while I can get it for 25% off on Reverb. So huge thanks to Reverb for sponsoring us. Use the link, guys. Go check it out. Go window shop.
This episode's also brought to you by Stringjoy.
That's
crafted
right, Steve.
in Nashville, Tennessee, played on stages worldwide. Stringjoy strings are crafted one at a time by musicians who know that great art is made with great tools. It's our mission. It's their mission. It's also our mission to make, well, it's not our mission to make strings, but it's their mission to make strings.
It's our mission to make podcasts and
inspire you to play more, play better, and play more like you. These are the 10 to 50s, 10 and a half to 50s. This is a great.
That's the set I've been putting on everything.
Mid-weight balance set. They're
Blake Wyland suggested that set to me because I was going in between the 11s and the 10s, and he's like, "Well, why don't you try 10.5? You dumb."
Yeah, dingus.
Yeah, he was right, and I like the orbiters because they're coated, which means they last a long time. As you notice, like I just hang guitars on the walls around here. We're in a garage right now, so the conditions are all over the map, and my strings have been lasting great. I fully appreciate coated strings because I don't baby my guitars; they live out in the air, in the elements, and they get dust and finger grease on the strings, and I like them to stay fresh as long as possible.
Use code HUM at checkout to get a little bit of discount on your
like
first
10%.
order, and use the link below so they know that we sent you, and also we get a kickback from that.
And
So
a little bit of money.
just so you know, we're keeping it all up front.
Right, we don't lie about that. We want you guys to be happy when we make money. 'Cause we're happy when we make money, and we want to spread that around.
This next ad, Ryan, that whole segment took us 3.5 minutes.
Amazing. I'll let you lead the way.
2
next time
sponsor
too.
spots and the Patreon in 3.5
Now we've got
minutes.
so much time for show.
This
It's not like last week when it was like mostly ads.
This ad was sent by Peter Lukács. Lukács. I'm going to go with that. It's a baritone St. Vincent electric
Speaking of St. Vincent.
baritone ukulele.
But imagine if this was a Squier Katana ukulele.
This is hand built by me, based in Montreal. I originally built this built this one as a custom order, but the sale was never completed, so I'm putting it out there. This is definitely a true one of a kind. There's no other St. Vincent uke in the world for sure. Handmade, has tiny imperfections, but nothing you notice without a search.
Well, yeah, it's a ukulele. The imperfections are going to be small.
Yeah. Solid mahogany body, painted in pink water-based poly. Neck is flamed birch with Jatoba fretboard. Scale length is 19.1. Modified Wilkinson Telly half bridge with a string through design. 3 Artec Firebird mini humbuckers wired in a standard 5-way Strat config. Volume and toner 500. Electro socket. Side jack. This is wow.
Are you bored, Steve? You yawning over there?
$1,162.
Look at the wave on that neck. That's some fun looking wood on there. It's got a little bit of a flame going on that neck.
There's a nice touch on the headstock, back of that headstock wood well.
This is a lot of money for an electric ukulele, but I mean he's really done it. Like he made a little St. Vincent ukulele. It's cute. It's adorable. It's a really like fun shape. Like when I look at the St. Vincent, like I see mid-century modern lines. Like I see like this tiki aesthetic. Making a ukulele St. Vincent is a no-brainer, and I'm super stoked to be looking at this. I think it's really fun. I like that he even did the fret dots, the way that Ernie Ball does the fret dots.
Oh, is that a specific style?
I don't think they're a little bit different on the St. Vincent because it's the rings that overlap. But yeah, they do the little donut inlays. I like that. That's a nice touch. I will say though, like I've experimented around with converting very short scale guitars to ukulele. Like I used to have this little Star guitar. Yeah, like an old Hondo. You remember that thing?
Yep.
And I had converted that to 4-string ukulele. Once you put steel strings on something, no matter what you tune it to, no matter what like combination of the strings are, and once those strings run through an electric guitar pickup into a pedal board and an amp, et cetera, it kind of just sounds like a guitar.
Right.
Like a ukulele sounds like a ukulele because it's a little acoustic instrument.
Especially with nylon strings.
Right.
Yeah, that's all part of the equation.
Once you turn it into a steel-stringed electric pickup into an amplifier situation, those sounds, you can get them with a guitar with the capo on the 5th fret, you know?
Would you say the thing that you are describing proves or disproves the tone wood conversation?
I'm going to say this is a tone scale conversation.
Tone scale conversation.
Yeah. No, it's not about, oh my gosh. It's like tone wood is the very last thing to talk about in this conversation. It's just the fact that steel strings through magnetic pickups into an amplifier sounds like an electric guitar every single time. Right. It's just what it sounds like. Like you couldn't change the wood and make it sound like some completely different instrument. That's just a recipe for electric guitar sounds. And that's what I learned when I did my own conversion to an electric ukulele with that little Hondo Star guitar that I had, which I kind of wish I'd kept. I used it as payment for that tech that we used to go to.
Ron.
I paid him for some work that he did.
Used to pay him in parts.
I paid him in parts or in little like guitar things. And I was like, hey, do this. I forget what it was. I forget what I had him do. Like replace a nut or something like that. Or do like a pickup swap. Oh, it was when I had him put that hot rail in that Strat.
Which time?
I had him put a hot rail right next to the bridge single. So it was like a 4 pickup guitar, which was a fun idea. But then what I realized is like, you don't really go back and forth in between a hot rail and normal Strat pickups because the hot rail is so incredibly hot that it like, you can't really do it in the same set because it sounds so completely different. But it was a fun concept. Like, I'm glad that I experimented with that way back when. And I guess that was enough work because he had to do all sorts of custom pick guard cutting and stuff.
He had to cut it up. He was like trying to do a bunch of weird shielding to like isolate the
weird
the magnetic fields from each other.
I've always been a freak, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I've always done dumb, weird things to guitars.
Yeah.
And then I undid that on that guitar, and then I redid like 10 other experimental things. But yeah, the price-wise, this guy clearly worked really hard on this. He did the work. He made it real clean. It looks fantastic. So I can't say, I mean, it's sold. This piece of gear has sold according to the screen grab. So obviously I can't say that it's worth it or not worth it at the price because it's sold. I do kind of wish that he had done a little bit of a take on the Ernie Ball headstock. It's a 4-string guitar. So it only needs the 4 strings on one side, like an Ernie Ball, but then Ernie Ball has the 2 strings on the bottom side. I wish he'd done 3 on top and 1 on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what the basses do. It's 3 plus 1.
So he should have done like an Ernie Ball style bass headstock, but maybe he was worried about.
The at least the 4 plus 2. I don't know if the 3 plus 1 is, but the 4 plus 2 is like a Music Man.
I know, but like historically, a bunch of other brands have done that too. Like
and all those other brands went out of business.
I know
because of Music Man.
No, Teisco's not out of business because of Music Man. They're a property owned by the same company that owns Harmony and Heritage. Yeah, and they only make pedals now.
Yeah. What if we got a cease and desist from Music Man
for doing what? For showing the ad?
No, just for saying things that aren't true. Obviously, guys. Obviously, I'm joking.
You know what?
Obviously, I would love to get a cease and desist from any major company.
Yeah, and frame it and hang it on the wall. Yeah. All the cease and desists we've gotten have been like embarrassing small companies that we don't actually want people to know. It's awkward every single time.
If we got a cease and desist from if we got a cease and desist from Gibson, I would insist that you reach out to Mark Agnesi and we get him on and be like, hey, Mark, can we talk about this? Like, he'd be like, oh, the lawyers. I'm like, no. Like, just man to man. Can we talk about this?
We'll hash it out with him. I thought you meant, can we talk about it on the show?
No. I mean, we hash it out with him. Like, we don't want to talk to the lawyers, Mark. We want to talk to you.
I wouldn't make Mark do it. Like, it's not the legal team's not his fault.
Now we're going to get
I don't want to get Mark in trouble.
We're going to get a cease and desist from Gibson for talking about Mark.
Here's the reality of is one thing if you get a cease and desist and you're a manufacturer. It's like, I've already committed all this time into making this product and I'm so proud of the work that I did and how dare they come after me. If a company came after us with a cease and desist, and sorry to say that, make it sound like we just roll over so quickly, but if someone said, hey, the thing you said in this episode, here's a cease and desist, I'd be like, oh, okay. I don't want to spend any time in my life like fighting this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will cease and desist. I'll just take down the episode or I'll cut out the clip or whatever. Like if it's legitimate where it's like, oh yeah, we messed up or like this is going to take a fight to deal with it. We'll find something else to say. I don't know.
Legitimately, I think it would be it would have to be exceptionally egregious.
Sure.
For us to
if it hadn't happened yet, I don't think it's going to happen.
I can't imagine that any serious company in the gear world at this point takes anything about this show seriously.
I mean,
unless it's being seriously entertaining.
Yeah. Super engaging with every audience out there. Also, you have to consider the Streisand effect, which is a fuzz.
Yeah. What is it? No. It should be.
It should be a delay, actually. Chibson should get on that. Chibson, make a Streisand effect.
Yeah.
The Streisand effect is when, Barbara Streisand tried to
she tried to get her house taken off of
she tried to bury a news story about her, and that only made the news story bigger. So it's going after media, even podunk little podcasts like this, is a bad idea, because the media will be just you don't want us to talk about this, when that's a surefire way of making sure that we're going to talk about it, So there you go. That's probably why we haven't gotten in trouble. And that's somehow connected to this ukulele because we were talking about the headstock. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, the reality, it's not just the headstock, the fact that he's calling it a St. Vincent baritone and all this other stuff. There's definitely things there that
I like what he did. He didn't just shrink it because it's a narrow body. He brought the waist in tighter and it flares out a bit more.
Oh yeah. It's a bit more angular.
It's hard to tell looking back at my St. Vincent, but it's he shrunk it, but then he stretched it out width-wise. I really like the look of it. I honestly think St. Vincent, that guitar design is the coolest new guitar design to come out.
Best guitar design.
In the past couple of years. Usually when a new shape comes out, it's okay, well, this is derivative of this or that. Or it's just it's a longer Strat body. It's a super duper duper Strat. No, this, the St. Vincent body shape, I think it's going to go down as a classic option. And I think we're going to see variations on it, especially from small builders and stuff like that. I think it's cool.
That is actually an interesting point, is it is the St. Vincent model. And because Music Man is it's relatively small, but I do wonder, does St. Vincent have an exclusive on that, or is there room for them to make other artists? If another artist is well, I play a black and gold one,
right?
Can you make a black and gold one?
Well, then it turns into Les Paul artist models, whereas it's the Les Paul / model. And then if, 100 years from now, there's gonna be it's the Les Paul / Jimmy Future Boy model, right. It's going to get all these names attached to it.
Right. The Ryan Burke's St. Vincent Music Man.
I'd take it.
Is the body shape called St. Vincent? Or does it have another name?
That's a good question. I think it's just called the St. Vincent.
Yeah.
It's the Mary Kay finish, It's just got that name attached to it now, which is pretty cool. If you have a guitar model that takes off and it's got your name attached to it forever, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see people playing this shape in, 100 years, 50 years, 25 years, any amount of years, 74 years.
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
What's new?
You know what? I didn't have anything new last week. I don't think I have anything new this week. 2 weeks ago, I talked about having burnout, and I still do. Update. Still burnt out. But I'm dealing with it. I've been giving myself a lot of time to be introspective and self-reflective. I've been giving myself the thing I've been thinking about is the fact that just giving it a name, just calling it something, just saying here it is. This is burnout. I've identified it, has been therapeutic in a way, has made it easier for me to deal with kind of the way I've been feeling.
So what did you name it?
Just burnout.
Oh, it's
just by saying
it's not you don't wake up every morning and I got to deal with Dave again.
Right. Now, say you wake up every day and you feel bummed out and you're just having a hard time getting through life and you're just slogging through life. And then one day you're you know what? This is depression. You call it depression. Now because you've given it a title, now it's now I can, be aware of this and address this every day and that's kind of where I am with the burnout. It's I know that I'm burnt out. I know that my body is violently rejecting labor. But because I know that and because I can anticipate it,
sure.
I feel I'm making headway as far as kind of working on it, I suppose. I've been giving myself more personal time, more time to sit and think and just do other things. And that's instead of, because what I could be doing is fighting against it and like, well, I got to get this stuff done. But then that's just pushing me deeper into the hole. Mm-hmm. So I've been taking more free time and then still like, well, I got to do this work, but I'm not going to like give myself a ton of extra time to do it. I'm just going to give myself an allowance of time. Like, here's a normal amount of time to do this, Ryan. You've already decided that tomorrow you're not going to do this. So get it done today so you don't have to do it tomorrow. So like, I don't know. I'm experimenting with little personal tools and thoughts and things like that. And like, you know, I don't know. I've been getting a lot of nice messages from people, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I feel pretty confident in where I am. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm not going to completely spin out and lose control of my entire life over this. You know, one of the things that I often think about this industry that I've worked myself into, a thing that I really like about doing guitar demo videos and pedals and stuff like that is that it doesn't matter. Guitars don't matter. No one's going to die if I don't demo a guitar or a pedal. No one's going to die if I do. No one's going to go hungry. If you're spending money irresponsibly on things that I cover on the channel, that's on you. Like, don't spend money that you shouldn't spend. Like, this should be for fun. There's a strong hobby element throughout this whole scene. And all of us should be healthy enough to recognize that. And just that thought of like, this isn't important. I don't need to worry about this. No one is relying on me to make or break their impression of whatever this product is going to be. Like, I'm just going to do the thing that I do and be honest and demonstrate stuff. And like, I don't have to worry about it. There's no huge repercussions here. They're just pedals and guitars and stuff.
Until you're reported to the FCC.
For doing what?
Advertisement law violations.
Okay.
I don't know
either.
Who was it? There's somebody.
I feel like there's a lot of bigger fish out there that they come out after if there is some issue with whatever we're doing here.
Was it Landon? There was somebody who was going after a creator that we know, saying like, I'm going to report you to like not the FCC, the FTC, like that. I'm going to report you to like the advertisement body, whatever, because you're lying about this product and you're colluding with Big Guitar. It was wild. It was like it was like a wall of text.
Most of you.
What's in it? Gabor.
Oh, okay.
Happy Time,
right, yeah.
Whatever they're. I can't remember.
The super awesome Happy Time,
yeah,
great good guitar show.
Yeah. Whatever.
Longest name ever. I wonder if they regret that yet.
Is it super awesome Happy Time guitar show?
Every now and then there's someone out there who gets a wild hair up their butt and they just believe with the full depth of their soul and their heart and their intellect that doing demo videos is somehow a violation of something or other. And they get all high and mighty about it. And the vast majority of you in the audience clearly sees what's going on with this stuff, right? We're doing demos. They're advertisements, but it's also entertainment. It's infotainment. Like in this scene, in the guitar demo scene, we all try our very best to be as honest as we can. We get things wrong from time to time, especially me, because I fly by the seat of my pants. I'll say like, I don't know this about that. So go click the link and figure it out yourself. Like most of us don't know everything because the manufacturers don't tell us everything. Because when we launch products, they don't even have their promotional materials finished yet. So it's like to come in hot and accuse someone of lying in a demo. It's like, you better have a way of backing that up. And if it's just like, oh, this person said they liked the guitar and then I got the guitar and didn't like it, they're liars. Like that's not anything.
Most of the time that's what it is.
Most of the time it's what it is, and that's nonsensical. That's personal perspective stuff. That's personal, like whatever. Like someday someone's gonna get taken down by one of these weirdos and they're gonna have a ton of like just hobby money to throw into some legal case and they're gonna sue some YouTuber for saying they like the fuzz pedal. I don't know. They're going to ruin some asshole guitar YouTuber's life. Maybe it'll be me. Maybe it'll ruin my life someday because I said I like the fuzz pedal. I think
that would like you in order to pursue.
Why are we talking about legal stuff this episode?
Yeah, in order to pursue legal, you have to I think you have to demonstrate class action. like
Right.
levels. You'd have to get a whole bunch of people to be like, I bought this fuzz pedal and it sucks.
Right.
And I bought it because you said it was good. Ryan, I don't want to talk about this
Either
anymore.
do I. Why are we
Ask
even
me-
doing
ask
this?
me what's new.
What's new, Steve? I'm burnt out after that conversation. I want to stop doing this.
A couple weeks ago, I went to a concert.
Oh, good.
We didn't talk about it last episode because I wanted to talk about being on Man the Helm podcast.
Oh, okay.
But I went to a concert. At what point is it
Did you
a
go
show?
to Steve? Did you go to a concert?
Yes.
Okay.
At what point is it a show versus a concert? What's that line? What's the number? What's the room size for a show versus a concert? Let me know in the comments.
Okay. Here's a way I am going to define that.
Okay.
It depends on the primary purpose of the venue. Like Tower Bar, its primary purpose is a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Like Belly Up, their primary purpose is a concert venue.
So if it's a concert, so it's about the primary purpose. So Belly Up
Of the venue.
Everything you go to at Belly Up is a concert.
Absolutely.
Like if it was all punk bands, it'd be a punk concert. It
Yeah.
would not be a punk show.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about a place like Soma? Is everything at Soma concerts? I would think of those.
Yeah.
As,
Yeah, because they're not a restaurant or a bar or something
Okay.
like that. They're a venue.
that's an interesting delineation.
Yeah.
Find it out in the comments. But I went to a concert. I went to see the Beths.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
You've seen them
Alvvays.
before, right?
I have not.
Oh, I
I've
thought
not
I'd
seen either of
heard you
them
talk about them before.
I've talked about them a lot.
Alvvays is a popular band these days.
Always is pretty popular.
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me thinking about this. And it was a great show. The Beths put on a great live show. They're Kiwis, which is extra fun. Like they're from New Zealand. And I don't know why it is. I don't know why it is that like the stereotypes I feel like for the most part, no, there's a couple nasty ones, but for the most
For
part,
Kiwis?
the stereotypes for Kiwis, for people from New Zealand are all of like the absolute kindest stereotypes.
Sure.
And it's one of those ones that like seems true, like legitimately, not trying to pick on them, not trying to pick on anybody. I have interacted with rude Canadians, like despite like, oh, Canadians are very nice, whatever. Many of them are, but I've also interacted with a lot, like a few that I'm like, wow, you are like not.
You know what you
very
call
Canadian.
a rude Canadian?
A hoser? Is it a hoser?
An
What do you call-
a-hole.
A what?
A-hole. E-H hole.
An a-hole.
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 So Liz Stokes, like her sense, and the whole band, like their sense of humor that they portray on stage is like, it's like you've just stepped into like a Rhys Davies script.
Ah, okay.
Like you feel like you're like, this is, you could be look across the room and Britt and Jermaine are also
Sure.
the show. What their bass player has a travel Instagram called Breakfast and Travel Updates.
Okay.
It's all just pictures of breakfast and like, we are in Seattle. Here's what I had for breakfast, and which just feels like the most New Zealand thing ever.
That's his normal Instagramming, Steve.
That's true. It is pretty normal. But like to promote that at the show,
That's like old school, like 2015 Instagram.
right? But I'm saying to promote it like in the middle of the show to be like,
Oh, they promoted that on
yeah,
Instagram at the
they're
show?
like, oh, let's Instagram, let's talk about like the band. Like, hi, I'm this person. Though they all introduce each other, which is fun. And then
Was this the first show you've ever been to, Steve, or concert?
well, no. No,
You wouldn't believe this show that I went to.
do bands
The bands introduced themselves.
do bands no, but they don't introduce themselves. They introduce each other. So I'm saying like Liz introduces John, who introduces Tristan, who introduces Ben,
Okay.
like that sort of a thing. So it's like when we played,
It sounds like they had a fun little bit.
it's like, yeah, it's a bit. It's like when we had shows, if I introduced you, you introduced Adam, and Adam introduced me.
Ah, okay.
Right. And then in this introducing each other, they talked about breakfast and travel updates. And then Always was really good. I didn't know what to expect. They're the
I see and hear their name a lot. Like, what are they like? What's
they're
their
like
sound?
dream pop.
Okay. All right.
So I legitimately like, they are a hard band for me to listen to because I feel like I'm always kind of doing something, and they are like they feel kind of relaxing. Like it's not that they don't have anything up tempo. It's that there's just everything is washed in reverb, and it makes me want to like slow down and chill and like be relaxed. And I'm just not usually there. Like
All
when
right.
I'm relaxed, I want to watch a movie or something. I don't want to necessarily listen to music. They were really good, very on point. And the thing I realized is both Liz from the Beths and Molly Rankin from Always were two artists that Emily over at Get Offset said should have. She did a video about signature guitars, and those were two of the artists she talked about.
And they should both have signature
That they should both
katanas.
have signature, maybe signature katanas. Now, interestingly enough, the guitar that that Liz Stokes was playing at that time was a G&L Fallout.
Okay.
And she, at least for this show on the tour, is not playing a G&L Fallout. She's playing a Trent guitar.
Trent.
They're a UK builder.
Interesting.
And it's a really cool looking guitar. It's like a double.
Do you have
it's
any
like
pictures
a jazz
from the show,
mastery.
Steve?
I got a few.
Okay, you should Dropbox them
Yeah,
to me or
yeah,
put
for
them
sure.
put them in the drive
I'll put them in the drive.
and then remind editing Ryan in
Yeah,
a week and a half.
that's not gonna
to,
happen.
to put them in the episode so people can see the concert that you saw.
But yeah, that's what I did.
That's cool.
I was thinking about you're talking about your burnout update.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking like maybe a thing that you could do that doesn't require any filming. It's just a thing.
Okay, Steve's
do
coming up with work for me again.
Is no, it's not work. Hopefully
All right.
it's not work.
Okay, all right. I'll let you bitch it.
You can head on over to TrueFire.
Oh, that's true, Steve.
Yeah, and you can just take some lessons and maybe get some new perspective over there at TrueFire.
Yeah. Instead of just like getting burned out by playing the same old riffs that I've been playing in every single video forever and ever and ever and ever, maybe I should learn some new riffs so I won't feel so burnt out all the time.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
If you want to learn some new riffs, click the link down below. And this is a sponsor spot. By the
We're
way.
in the sponsor spot right now. Everyone can tell because I put the logo up.
Yeah. But go check that out. They have so many lessons from so many like big name artists. And they also have like some bass. They have like specific special things like modern finger style with the Vet Young, but they also have like things for guys like me where it's like intro to David Bowie heroes. Like
Right.
just strum the chords of heroes.
Like I was looking around on one of their lessons I think 2 weeks ago when they first hit us up and like, hey, let's do a sponsorship again. And I was like, okay, let me get in there and look around a bit. And I pulled up a song. I'm like, here we go. I'm going to dive into something that's going to be difficult. I forget what song it was, but then I started going through the lesson. I'm like, they tricked me with an easy one. And I don't know if it was actually easy or if they were just showing it in a way that made it feel easy. I was like, man, I thought I was going to get challenged, but no, just the way everything was laid out and the way that they do the lesson is like, no, this is easy peasy to learn this song. It's some song I'd never played before, and here I am learning it, and now I can't even remember what I did. What I should have written it down so that I could use it as an object lesson. But I'm telling you about the experience that I had, and that's what important. That's what's important.
The best deal on TrueFire is to sign up for their annual package. It gives you the biggest discount
because it's like a full year, right?
It's a full year.
That's what annual means.
Yeah, that is what annual.
I just taught you guys something.
Right.
Did you like the way that felt to learn something? Now imagine how that would feel if you had an annual membership at TrueFire. You could learn something every day for a year. You could have that feeling all the time.
Yeah, and like I said,
How's
that site is just packed full of stuff. It would be so easy.
It's intimidating
to get a year's. It'll be easy to get a year's worth of lessons out of that site.
Lifetime of lessons
once
at
you've
truefire.com.
Once you've spent some time over on TrueFire, learned a few new riffs.
Here we go.
And you're feeling a little more creative.
Mm-hmm. How creative? More creative than myself?
Very creative. But maybe you need a little bit of an ego cut because you're feeling like your ego's big. Like, I feel so creative. You need to head on over to chasebliss.com and get some pedals from Chase Bliss because those pedals are more creative than you are.
Yeah. Pedals like the Therme, recently discontinued. Pedals like the Condor, also recently discontinued for reasons that we talked about last week. But you want to get over there. You want to see what they have. You want to see what's coming in and going out. You want to see when they drop hot new stuff. They just like did the Womb Tone again. They reissued the Womb Tone.
Well, it's the Billy Strings
right,
edition.
the Billy Strings edition.
So it's
an envelope controlled phaser, guys.
I believe it's Chase Bliss's first signature pedal.
There you go.
The Billy Strings Womb Tone.
They've always got something new and old over there. Go check it out. They're incredible, insane pedals. They have these dip switches back here that allow you to automate and modify all sorts of different stuff on the face of the pedal. They've got presets. It's just like, you crack these things open and it's a miracle of engineering. Like, Chase Bliss is the real deal. If you ever wanted to treat yourself to something extra, get yourself a Chase Bliss pedal. That's what I'm saying.
Ryan, let's hit this topic.
Let's do it. I screen grabbed it so I wouldn't forget it. Greg McKenzie asks, 3D printed guitars, are there actually any designs for surf? Is it cost effective? Pros, cons? I can't tell you about for surf. I mean, probably. The way I want to steer this, 3D printed guitars, people are getting into 3D printed stuff more and more and more. You're seeing it all the time. You're seeing it as products that are being sold from on Etsy, and et cetera, et cetera. Like Steve grabbed that guitar that I put that lightning bolt pickup in, and they actually sent me a new cover to match it, yellow and black. I still need to install that. This is all 3D printed. Like, stuff like this is really cool. All sorts of little products and little add-ons and stuff like that. But 3D printed guitars, an entire guitar that's 3D printed, I have mixed feelings about that. And I'm going to try my best to explore that. And of course, Steve is here too. Steve, hi! He'll have stuff to say as well. I feel like the benefit to 3D printing is in making low run stuff, prototypey stuff that you're not quite there to being able to afford traditional manufacturing, because you're not doing the numbers. You want to do, one-off colors and things like that. 3D printing is awesome for that. When it comes to 3D printing entire guitars, like entire guitar bodies, I've seen some out there. There's some that are attractive that they do interesting things with. I think in my mind, the only real benefit to do that, to 3D print a guitar, well, here's two. Now I've come up with two. Just
one.
Winding up for it. The first benefit to that is prototyping.
Right.
Say you're a company and you want to prototype a bunch of guitar shapes really quickly without having to cut wood, without having to get into like the mess of it. You're like, we came up with this design. We're a modern company. We're going to 3D print it so we can test fit and finish, so we can test ergonomics and make small tweaks to the prototype here and there. Maybe they're working on the top bout, and so they just keep printing a new top bout in different shapes and stuff like that. Like the prototyping phase seems like it would be perfect for 3D printing. The second option is in impossible structural, artistic sorts of things. Like, you want to have a guitar that is printed with this 3-dimensional weave going throughout that does things to light that you've never seen a guitar ever do before, like high level creative stuff. Like, I think there's room for it there. But then, just like going on the internet, paying for a file and downloading a Strat body and printing a Strat body sounds completely unnecessary to me. Like, I don't think you're getting any benefit other than having a fun thing to test your 3D printer on.
Right.
Like, because you can't 3D print the rest of it. Yeah, you could print a neck, but that's not going to be a fun neck. The fidelity and the technology is not there yet to 3D print a neck that people are going to want to play. And even the bodies that I've felt and seen in person, and even seen pictures of, it's like, this is still kind of rough. It needs work. Like, you need to do all sorts of finishing things to get this smooth. So that's why I say it's more of like a prototyping thing. Maybe in the future, who knows? But I just feel like treating 3D printing as like, oh, this is how people are going to have guitars in the future, is they're going to download a file and 3D print a guitar. Sure. I don't see it. I don't see that future. I don't think that's where it's at.
I mean, you could eventually get to like the precision with 3D printing, but at that point, how long is it going to take that to, because of the way 3D printing works? Here's an application.
I think with guitars, it's always going to be extra work, where at the end of it, if you're printing something boring and standard, you're printing something commercial, like a Strat or a Tele body or something like that, or a Les Paul body, just you're going to have to order the neck and the pickups and the tuners and all the other parts anyways. Just order the body. Like if you are in a place where it is impossible to get a guitar body, then it's also impossible to get a guitar neck and pickups, et cetera, et cetera. And so a 3D printer is not going to cut it because you need the other things.
I do wonder, and I don't know the answer to this, like what the cost in, is it in, what do they call it? Filament?
Right.
What's the cost in filament to make a
I've been under the
guitar?
impression that it's not expensive
It's
to
not, okay.
print a bunch
I
of
have
stuff
no
with
idea.
filament.
I know depending on the quality of your printer, it can take a really long time. And there are tweaks you have to make to hold up the structural density.
There's people who have figured out how to recycle plastic bottles into filament and things like that too. And I think there's definitely a place in the world for 3D printing. Like I've said, like in prototyping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you are somewhere remote and you need to be able to have all sorts of different objects at the press of a button.
Sure.
Say you're on the moon. Someday there's a colony on the moon. I guarantee you there will be an army of 3D printers there for every little gear and every little gizmo and sprocket that they need that they didn't bring from home. They're going to be like, we need to solve this problem. Fire up their 3D printer, and we just keep recycling, plastic bottles into filament and, et cetera, or they figured out a way to make plastic on the moon. Or it's easy to ship them the filament. It's easier to ship filament than it is for them to put in an order for things that they didn't know that they needed until just now,
A potentially fun application that I think that there could be, maybe again, not, I don't know who this is for. I don't know if this is a commercially viable idea, but would be to take existing body shapes or other body shapes or whatever, the one that immediately kind of came to mind was like a Les Paul.
Sure.
Notoriously heavy guitar.
Right.
But what would be, I think, fun to do, and you'd have to, I don't know, I guess there's parts of it that I can't quite figure out how to make it work right, would be like if you were a guitar builder, but you wanted to make ultra lightweight guitars, to 3D print the core of the guitar. So basically, say you take a Les Paul slab. That's like, instead of being 2 inches thick,
right.
I don't know how thick a Les Paul body is offhand, but let's say it's like 2 inches.
Okay.
So then you print out a Les Paul body that is 1.5 inches thick, and you have like a 1/4 inch maple cap on the top and a 1/4 inch mahogany back that is attached to that.
So you're talking about like printing out a skeleton and then mounting pieces of wood.
Yeah. So if you are looking at this guitar from the front of the guitar or the back of the guitar, it would just look like a normal Les Paul style guitar.
That's an interesting idea.
But if you look at it from the side, you'd be like, oh, this is a sandwich. There's a plastic body in between it.
And I think we are going to see stuff like that eventually, where people who have 3D printers that are big enough to come up with creative ideas like that. They'll be like, well, I figured out a way to print this frame, and now you can go down to Home Depot and get a piece of plywood and cut it into whatever shape you want, and you just lay it on top of here, and I've already got the neck joint here for you to throw a neck into, and you can cut your own body shape over this frame, and it'll make you a functional guitar for you. Like things like that are interesting. I just think in the scenario of my imagined scenario of 3D printed guitars are now a thing, and they are competing against regular guitars because anyone who has a 3D printer at home, they don't have to buy a guitar anymore. They just get the file, and now they can download a guitar body. I don't think that concept is all that viable. I think it's always going to be a very niche thing. And I think for most guitarists, I think it's always going to have an element of being a bit unsatisfying. It's satisfying for the owner of a 3D printer who wants to flex what they can do on the printer. It's unsatisfying for someone who just wants a cool and good guitar.
Right.
That's kind of where my soul is lying right now with 3D printing. And fight me about it in the comment section. I'm not going to fight too hard. That's just my position right now.
I think that there are pieces of technology that exist where maybe it's hard to see what the long-term impacts are. I feel like 3D printing is in that space right now because the bulk of what you see done in 3D printing is fun. Like it's a lot of fun stuff. It's a lot of like kitschy in like a cool way.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if I had a 3D printer and I had the time to figure it out and work on things, I'd be making weird novelty, like knobs.
Like hand me that beer koozie over there. Like this is a can holder, a can coaster that we got sent from Rocket Music Gear.
Yeah.
Love all of the things Haley makes, but at the end of the day, like they're kind of these knickknacks. A lot of them are knickknacks. Some of them are functional. Like this is functional for a can holder.
It's cool.
She's got like the pick holders. She did this little pick dumpster.
We got
the
pedal, the miniature pedal board that's back here, and that's right next to the Lego guitar and stuff. All that stuff is super fun, like novelty things, little knickknacks, prototypey stuff, like things to solve little issues that you have in creative ways. Like all that is super fun. Like I was just saying, like I'd be printing weird novelty knobs or pick guards or like
like little guitar plastics and knobs and stuff would be really fun.
Unique pickup covers and stuff, like all that sorts of stuff. But then when it comes to the guitar body,
right,
I feel like that's too far. I feel like that's not attractive to me.
I think like I said, the technology is definitely not there now from what I've seen.
It also just doesn't feel like it's solving a problem.
Right. Well, it's saving wood, Ryan, because we have an infinite amount of plastic, but we're running out of wood.
Hey, that plastic isn't going to get into our bodies unless we make it into things and put it out in the environment. So let's just keep making things out of plastic, right? Listen, when are we going to move up to macroplastics is what I'm saying. Like, I'm tired of having little tiny particles of plastic in my blood and my bones and my brain and all that.
Yikes.
Like I want to have the big chunks.
Sure.
Like we've had creamy plastic. I'm ready for the chunky plastic.
Creamy plastic?
Making a peanut butter joke.
All right, whatever. Ryan, you want to hit this?
It didn't work. I'm sorry. Not all my jokes. Not all my jokes are jokes.
Dude.
Only, let's be honest. Only every once in a while do we say something actually funny. Like,
speak for yourself.
Just us shooting the shit around here. Okay, what's next, Steve?
This last ad was sent by Alex Theodo to.
He sent.
Alex, you're gonna have to tell us how to pronounce your last name, man.
He sent one last week. This is a bass.
This is an Ovation Ultra bass with Caller Tremolo. Cool. This is a sweet and hard to find Ovation Ultra bass with original Caller Tremolo in very good condition as pictured. It plays and sounds great. Comes with gig bag. It's $800. It has ended. It was at North Austin Guitars. Guitar with a bass with a wiggle stick.
Have you ever wanted to play a bass with a wiggle stick?
I don't know if I've ever played a bass with a wiggle stick.
But have you ever, Steve, that's not what I asked. Have you ever wanted to?
No.
Oh.
Should I
Let
want
me down.
to?
Imagine everything that you could do. You go, boom. You could dive bomb a bass. Who wouldn't want to do that?
That's fair, I guess.
I feel like if I was more serious about playing bass, then I'd probably have a bass with a wiggle stick just to do it. Doesn't Les Claypool mess around with basses with wiggle sticks?
He's got a bass with a wiggle stick on it. I've just never thought about it. It's probably a ton of fun. It'd probably just be like if I had a guitar with a good wiggle stick on it where I would just end up being like, I can't touch this thing because I'm just making too many weird sounds with it. But I don't know. Like I do know my way around a bass a little better than a guitar. So maybe I would have more self-control when it comes to wiggle stick abuse. This German carve on this guitar, by the way, is very nice.
I like that. Why is this Ovation bass so much more normal and cool looking than all Ovation guitars?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the German carve on a P bass, super cool. I know the wiggle stick is aftermarket, but still super cool.
Is it aftermarket?
I'm assuming. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is stock.
It says original Caller Tremolo.
Well, then it's not aftermarket.
Let's see if we can find any more.
Why is this Ovation bass so cool? And why was it only $800 if it's so cool? Like every Ovation guitar is like the weirdest design ever. I'm talking about their electric guitars. I mean, their acoustic guitars are their acoustic guitars. They're, these big bull bottomed lyres. I'm not saying that they're dishonest. I'm saying that they look like medieval instruments. And then you've got this cool P bass here. Why they should have, maybe they did, and I'm just like manifesting it into the past. They should have done a Strat take with a German carve with these features, like with this headstock instead of their weird Ovation headstock, their weird bottle cap opener headstock.
Some of the other ones I'm seeing have badass. Oh no, this one has it too.
There it is.
So that might be stock, or maybe they sold them with or without. It looks like that one doesn't have it, so maybe it was like
a different model. This is the Ultra. Is that the Ultra?
No, this one just doesn't have the wiggle stick. It's got the
it's got the bridge, but not
the vibrato bridge.
That's a common issue.
So yeah, I think that might be a stock thing, or maybe they had two versions of the Ultra bass.
I got a bass right here.
You got a bass right there.
I'm going to imagine. Did I almost hit you?
No.
Basses have plenty of sustain. Like, it'd be fun to sit there and like do a little bit of like light vibrato work. Like, just imagine it shaking a little bit. I don't know. Like, you can do that with a fretless where you like tremble it, I feel like a wiggle stick on a bass makes sense. Maybe I should learn the bass and then convince myself to track one down.
Hip Shots, I believe, sells a wiggle stick for bass. Like that'll retrofit onto.
You have to. Is it routing involved?
Onto most things. I don't know. I feel like it is kind of like Bigsby-ish.
Now, this sounds fun to me, but would it be the sort of thing where everyone in a band would be like, "Dude, knock it off. Stop wiggle sticking the bass. Just like lay down the groove. Like, just what's all this dive bomby stuff you're doing to us? Knock it off. Come on. I just want you to play the roots."
Yeah, you'd have to like really, like I said, I think it would take a lot of self-control.
Oh, of course. I mean, like, I don't have it.
You'd be like,
one thing I don't have.
You're 4 on the floor, instead of being like boom, 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 boom. You'd be like boom, whoom, whoom.
Right. Whoom. But imagine a bass with a little bit of light vibrato stick there, with some reverb or some chorus or some delay on it.
Well, if you had chorus, you don't need the wiggle stick.
Chorus plus wiggle stick is still fun.
Chorus stick,
yeah, vibrato stick, vibrato bar,
yeah.
Wiggle stick is still my favorite.
Call
it whatever you want.
Wiggle stick.
Das wiggle sticking.
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
I'm tired, dude.
Me too. It's been a long day. It's been a long week.
Hopefully,
it's
been. It has been. I think I know what I want to pick.
What are you picking? Convince me.
For the Adventurers Club. Oh fuck! We had that Squier Katana.
We had the Katana. This is a good one. We had the Katana. We had the baritone ukulele.
My pick is baritone Saint Vincent. Baritone Saint Uke.
I agree. Let's spin the wheel, because we didn't spin it last time, just to keep the wheel fresh. My wife helped me clean up the garage this past weekend, and she almost was like, "Let's find a place for this." Like, no, it needs to live next to the desk. Yeah, do a good one. The wheel must be spun, lest the wheel gods be angered, and the harvest go sour. Oh, it still has momentum. Oh, it's going back. I won. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Peter
Lucock.
Your baritone submission. You win.
You win.
I'll be in touch with you for that $25 gift card, or I think I still have a handful of affordable pedals left. This song was sent by Matt. He says, "Hi, Ryan and Steve. This is the Matt Lewis experience again with another recording. I recorded this song back in 2019 when the pandemic was just starting, hence the title of the song. It's titled C19. It was all written and played by me and recorded by me and all the other stuff by me. It's out everywhere. If anybody wants to check it out again, just look up the Matt Lewis Experience on any platform. Thanks again, Ryan and Steve, for giving us the opportunity to have our music played in a way that reaches our peers directly. I love hearing other people's music and sharing in a way that doesn't happen too often. Thanks, you guys. Stay grounded.
This guy gets it. Thank you.
Here we go.
We're all alone, stuck in our homes, nothing to do. We're so bored, day after day, and hour after hour. We play games, nothing has changed. It's all the same. People, their faces, the places they've been. I hope I don't have to bury my friends. I hope they don't bury me in the end. It'll pass someday. That's what I say. People ask me what's on my mind. I tell them I don't really know. Looking for something to do at home without my friends. To do all alone, maybe till the end of everything we know, and everyone we met will have to say goodbye.
That's the actual ending.
I was bracing for it to start again. That was a fun one. I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
All right,
Thanks,
bye,
Matt.
everybody.
Stay grounded.